Change is the one constant in human existence. It shapes societies, transforms cultures, and alters individual lives. Yet, despite its inevitability, change is almost always accompanied by anxiety, uncertainty, and resistance. In his profound work, The Ordeal of Change, social philosopher Eric Hoffer examines this paradox. If change is natural and unavoidable, why does it so often feel like an ordeal? Hoffer, best known for his earlier classic The True Believer, was a self-educated longshoreman turned philosopher. His unique background gave him a perspective far removed from academic abstractions. He observed people closely, ordinary workers, immigrants, political activists, and leaders, and used these observations to build his philosophy of human behavior. In The Ordeal of Change, he focuses less on the dynamics of mass movements and more on the deep psychological struggles individuals face when their world undergoes upheaval. This book is not about offering easy solutions. Rather, it is an exploration of how change unsettles us, how we respond to it, and what it reveals about the human condition. It is at once philosophical, psychological, and profoundly practical. The nature of change. Hoffer begins by observing that change disrupts stability, and stability is what most human beings crave. We build routines, traditions, and institutions precisely because they give us a sense of order in an otherwise uncertain world. Yet, paradoxically, change is also the source of growth, creativity, and progress. To live, we must change. To grow, we must adapt. To improve, we must embrace transformation. But this is not easy because change challenges our identities. It forces us to question who we are, what we believe, and where we belong. This inner conflict between the need for stability and the inevitability of change is at the heart of the human ordeal. Change and anxiety. One of Hoffer's most powerful insights is that change produces anxiety and insecurity. People are often more comfortable with misery they know than with uncertainty they do not understand. This explains why societies sometimes cling to outdated traditions, even when they are clearly harmful. Example: workers may resist new technologies even when these innovations promise easier work and higher pay. Why? Because the change threatens their sense of competence. A new machine may render their hard-won skills obsolete, leaving them uncertain about their value. This illustrates a universal truth. Change does not merely alter external circumstances, it alters our self-image. And when our identity is shaken, we feel vulnerable. The role of habit and routine. Hoffer emphasizes the role of habit in creating a sense of safety. Habit dulls awareness and allows us to move through life without constantly questioning everything. It provides a psychological anchor. Change, however, disrupts habit. It forces awareness back upon us, sometimes painfully so. Suddenly, we are confronted with choices, with ambiguity, with the need to navigate new terrain. For many, this is exhausting. It explains why even small changes in daily routine can provoke outsized emotional reactions. Example: consider the frustration people experience when a familiar commute is interrupted by construction. The change is minor in objective terms, but it disturbs a comforting routine, producing disproportionate irritation. Resistance to change. Because of this anxiety, most people resist change. They deny it, avoid it, or fight against it. Resistance is a way of clinging to stability. But Hoffer points out that resisting change is ultimately futile. History shows that change eventually overwhelms resistance, whether in the form of technological progress, cultural shifts, or personal transitions. The wiser path, Hoffer suggests, is to acknowledge resistance, understand it, and then learn to adapt. Those who can transform resistance into flexibility often emerge stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the future. The creative potential of change. Though painful, change also unleashes creativity and innovation. Hoffer notes that many great ideas, works of art, and technological breakthroughs arise during times of upheaval. When old structures collapse, people are forced to imagine new ones. Example: the Industrial Revolution was profoundly disruptive. It uprooted traditional ways of life, displaced workers, and created massive social dislocation. But it also unleashed unprecedented innovation, leading to advances in science, industry, and communication that reshaped the world. On a personal level, change often forces individuals to reinvent themselves. Someone who loses a job may discover hidden talents, develop new skills, or find a more meaningful vocation. Thus, the ordeal of change is also the seed of renewal. Change and identity. Perhaps the most intimate struggle with change lies in its impact on identity. Who am I when my circumstances shift? Who am I when my job, community, or relationships alter? Hoffer emphasizes that identity is not fixed, it evolves. Yet people often mistake roles, possessions, or external conditions for their true self. When those external anchors shift, they feel lost. Example: a soldier returning from war may struggle to adjust to civilian life. Their identity, once firmly anchored in discipline and service, now feels unmoored. Similarly, someone retiring after decades of work may feel a deep void. Change strips away old identities, forcing the creation of new ones. Adaptation and resilience. Hoffer argues that successful adaptation requires flexibility and humility. The resilient person does not deny the pain of change, but neither do they cling to outdated identities. They learn, adjust, and grow. A key part of resilience is the willingness to let go of perfection. Change often requires experimentation, mistakes, and failure. Those who accept failure as part of growth can transform challenges into opportunities. Example: entrepreneurs who succeed are rarely those who never fail. Instead, they are those who adapt after each failure, learning from mistakes and adjusting strategies. The social dimensions of change. Hoffer also examines change at the level of society. He observes that when cultures undergo rapid transformation through industrialization, migration, or political revolution, people often experience mass disorientation. This disorientation can lead to the rise of mass movements as people search for certainty, belonging, and identity in collective causes. Hoffer had already explored this dynamic in The True Believer, but in The Ordeal of Change, he deepens the analysis, showing how individuals trade personal uncertainty for collective stability. Thus, change not only transforms individuals, it reshapes nations and civilizations. The double-edged nature of change. Hoffer warns that change is not inherently good or bad. It can lead to progress or regression, liberation or tyranny. What matters is how people respond. When embraced with creativity and openness, change can foster growth, innovation, and freedom. When resisted with fear and rigidity, change can breed resentment, conflict, and authoritarianism. The ordeal of change, therefore, is also a test of character, both individually and collectively. Lessons for personal life. From Hoffer's reflections, we can draw several practical lessons for daily living. Expect discomfort. Change always produces anxiety. Accepting this reality reduces resistance. Focus on small adaptations. Rather than overhauling everything at once, take gradual steps toward adjustment. Reframe change as opportunity. Ask, what new possibilities does this create? Detach identity from circumstance. Recognize that you are more than your role, job, or possessions. Stay humble. Change demands learning, and learning requires openness. Conclusion. Eric Hoffer's The Ordeal of Change remains as relevant today as when it was first written. In a world of rapid technological advancement, shifting economies, and global uncertainty, his insights remind us that the struggle with change is not new. It is part of the human condition. Change unsettles us because it challenges identity, disrupts habits, and provokes anxiety. Yet it also offers growth, creativity, and renewal. The ordeal of change is both a burden and a gift. It reveals our vulnerabilities while unlocking our potential. Hoffer teaches us that resilience is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward despite it. Those who can embrace change with flexibility, humility, and creativity will not only survive, but thrive. Ultimately, the ordeal of change is a meditation on what it means to be human. To live is to change. To resist change is to stagnate. To embrace change is to grow. And though the journey may be an ordeal, it is also the very path to meaning, progress, and transformation.
Be part of our journey. If you find our content valuable and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support motivates us to keep going and bring you the best content, so don't forget to leave a like and share the video with those who might benefit.